Yeah, you'd just never be able to get out. Well, you would eventually, but yeah.
Oh, right. We have to wait for the deadline.
But there's really no point in voting Betray here, other than getting out early. They must have. And Alice. Well, we don't know what happened. We don't know where Snake is, so we don't know if Clover and Alice were frozen and Snake lived a happy life or whatever. We don't know. Yep, more questions than answers for sure.
Oh, well, we could vote earlier, but then each voter would be stuck inside the AV room for 45 minutes.
Yes, we do remember Lotus. I'm thinking... unless Alice is actually all ice, or the Ice 9 from 999, she had to have been frozen as well. Yeah. Yeah, Lotus was an older lady though. I did get them all. I've read them all except the last lot. I've got every gold file. Not reading them just yet? Okay. Let me know when it's safe to read them and I'll go through them then.
Okay. Let's go back to the infirmary then.
Because I will be finishing them off tonight. And depending how much longer this goes for, I'll probably, because I'm in the last box now, I'll probably start Zero Time Dilemma. But depends if this goes for another hour or two, I might not. Which some boxes have in the past, so.
I agree.
It was a massive spoiler if I didn't already know it was longer than a year. If I read it at the point of thinking it was only had been a couple days since I was kidnapped, then it would have been an absolutely huge spoiler. But I had found information already telling me that it had been more than a year at least. So knowing it was at least more than a year, the difference between a year and 10 years, when it was in fact 50 years, I'm not thinking was much of a spoiler. Because at the point we found out it was 10 years, at least 10 years, all we knew was it was more than 10 years. So yeah, to me that isn't a huge spoiler at the point I read it.
Please, lead the way.
But I do agree it would have been a huge spoiler if I read it earlier in the game. Yeah. It was... I still think if I got it and read it... Well, if I read it earlier than I did, it would have been a bigger spoiler. So yeah. Luna and Kay set off toward the yellow door. I was about to follow when...
Hold on.
Yeah, I can't remember which order I read the gold files in. Hey, Piggy Chips, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not an Aussie driver today. I'm a time traveler today in this game.
I just remembered something.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that was a bit of spoiler because I didn't know about Free the Soul and I didn't know too much about the Myrmidons at the time. But again, I think they weren't huge spoilers because although they told me about the Myrmidons and Free the Soul, they never told anything about that they were a part of the game, and they never said that one of the Myrmidons was in the game, who it was, or any of that stuff. So it just gave us information of the Myrmidons follow the religion of Free the Soul, which was led by brother who cloned his younger brother that died, left to make the Myrmidons. What?
The AB room on the left.
Yep.
In one of the other histories, she...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what I was saying before. This timeline, she was never found dead. You're right. Akane's body was in there. What does this mean? Why didn't we find a body this time?
Maybe because she wasn't murdered.
But how? When did history change?
Do you remember what Akane said?
The cat in the box. Is it alive? Or is it dead?
When she said that, I was saying she's, in this analogy, she is the cat in the box. That is true as well, Tigress.
Sigma, Phi. You will decide its fate.
So she's saying that Sigma and Phi will decide her fate. The Schrodinger's cat thing.
Exactly.
I wonder what she meant by about us deciding its fate.
Perhaps she was saying her own fate wasn't decided yet.
Yeah. Huh?
The history where she's alive and the history where she's murdered are both real right now.
What? No, that's impossible. We've only opened the box. We opened the door to the AB room and there was no body.
No, we haven't opened the box. We haven't found a body, but we haven't found her alive yet either.
No.
In other words, we haven't actually observed her. The hologram was a recording from before this game started.
Yep.
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
Does that mean that we're going to find another hologram set up for us to tell us more? Or she'll tell us in person? We don't know.
So come and find me. I'll be waiting.
Where was Akane now? Where was she waiting for us? Or what if she wasn't anywhere now? What if she was waiting for us in another timeline? Or what if she was waiting for us in the past? Was that even possible? If she was, what would that mean? A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Oh. No fire ending yet. Oh. Before the game started. Interesting. Now the game starts. It looks like it, doesn't it? AB room passed. Ah. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Damn it. Feels like my head's gonna explode. Wait. Where the hell am I? Back in the AB room. Looks like an elevator, but...
No, this is one of the AB rooms.
Gah! Who the hell are you? And what the hell's on an AB room? And I did look up how long the game's supposed to be. Like I just said, how long is Virtue's Last Reward? And the site I checked was saying 36 hours or so. I've already been going for over 50, so I doubt it'll be another 50.
Damn.
I have been stopping a lot and talking to chat and all that as well, so that's extended the time.
I guess you did lose your memory after all.
We finished at 50. Yeah, I've gone a bit over 50. Memory? Memory. I remember. You're fire. She grinned. When is this?
Check your bracelet.
It's a red pair. BP is 3.
Mine's the same.
Does this mean this is the beginning of the game? We've gone back to when we first woke up in the AB room?
No, not quite. I think we woke up a little earlier this time.
How do you know?
Push the buttons on the side of your bracelet.
Two hours, 15 minutes.
We didn't wake up this long before the primary doors opened last time. I think we're about an hour early.
Wait a minute. If you're right...
Yeah. Akane might still be alive. We got back before Dio killed her. I think.
Then...
Right. We're here for one reason.
To save Akane's life. To stop her from getting killed.
Exactly.
Let's move. We need to get out of here fast.
Don't need to tell me twice. Let's go.
Technically, this should be the same puzzles as the very first room. We don't need to look there. This is our past, remember? That means we're just repeating history. You see what I'm getting at? The password for the safe should be the same one we got earlier. Exactly. Now hurry up and open it. Moon, sun, sun. We figured it out last time. There, it's open. Good work. Hurry up and grab the cracker. Cracker? Ah, damn. I meant key. How the hell? Just shut up and do it. Alright, let's just put this key in here. For God's sake, just do it already. No need to yell. Alright, good. Looks like that worked. Ready, Fire? What do you think? I know. I don't need to ask every time, right? Then why the hell are you asking? Hurry up and... Right. I'm going. 10, 9... 1, done. Good Fire. Hey, you pushed the button. Bite me. You were taking too long. He was. We're on a schedule here. For some reason I didn't even think about using the same code for the safe. Fire and I climbed up through the hatch and out onto the top of the AB room. It took us only a moment to spot them. Akane. Behind her was Dio. He was moving quickly and quietly, a knife glinting in his right hand. There was no time to yell to her. I scrambled down from the top of the AB room. Fire wasn't following me. When I looked back, she was still standing on the roof. Fire, what the hell are you doing? Get down here and... Before I could finish, she moved. Yeah, I was just thinking, no time to yell out to her? That's surely the best way to do it. She ran across the roof, launched herself into the air. And that's how Dio doesn't know what happened and didn't know about us before meeting us when we left the room at the start of the game. Fire best character? She is a pretty good character, I reckon. What the?
He's fine. Just unconscious.
I bent down and held my fingers in front of his mouth. He was still breathing.
I don't think he saw me. He probably has no idea what happened to him.
Guy went down like a sack of potatoes.
He had it coming.
I agree. I heard footsteps come to a stop right in front of us. Akane. I looked up.
So you came. I've been waiting for you. You're here to hear the rest, right?
Wait. Just wait a minute. What the hell is your deal? How can you be so calm? If we hadn't shown up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes. Although, that reminds me, I haven't thanked you yet. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you saving me.
That... what?
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio? Are you an Esper too?
Yes. Indeed I am. I am able to jump through time, just like you.
Then what the hell were you thinking? If you knew he was going to stab you, why were you going to let him do it?
Because I had to.
You what?
Think back. Why are you here? If I hadn't been killed by Dio, no one else would have been murdered. Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested.
Okay. Yeah.
I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least. In order for that to happen, some death was necessary. When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases. Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow. A few seconds can feel like an eternity. Unfortunately, that in itself isn't enough to send oneself through time. The amplitude of the consciousness is simply too small. In order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens.
But she's not wearing an AB bracelet. Not wearing one of the bracelets.
It's a little like a slingshot. You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot. Now, while a slingshot can only fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from the slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one. From that perspective, time is no longer fixed. In other words, you can travel to the future, the past, whenever you like. Your consciousness has been released from the three-dimensional cage. In order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
What? What?
We're infected with Radical 6?
Yes. Don't you remember, Sigma? Luna should have told you about it in another timeline.
Yep.
Are you sure? Infecting all of these people with such a horrible disease?
Every single one of you has been infected.
I still don't get why we had to be infected. Radical 6 is supposed to slow your processing speed and make everything around you feel slower.
Well, apart from Luna, of course. Unfortunately, it was necessary. We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy.
Okay.
Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed.
So you had to slow it down and then speed it up again. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Everything would seem faster. So, yeah. Yeah. They only found 2 bottles in this timeline. There was a third one in one of the rooms. I can't remember which one. But in the timeline we found that one, or timelines we found that one, we either gave the only bottle to Quark or made a copy of it and gave it to Alice and Quark.
The result is what you are now experiencing. Your consciousness now occupies 4-dimensional space-time. Even that, however, wasn't enough. You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip. If the project was to succeed, You had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality. That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times. With each jump, your ability to remember improved. Eventually, you would be able to retain everything. That is why we made you play the AB game.
And that's why we had the block squares that forced us to go to other timelines to find out information to go back there. That was the people designing the game, Akane here, making us, well, forcing us through different situations to find out the information we needed to progress.
That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
Yep. I get it. I think I finally understand. Well, okay. There are a lot of things I don't understand, but all of what you've just told me makes sense. You did all of this so that Fire and I could jump through 4-dimensional space with our memories intact. Right?
Yes.
But why did you need us to do that? People have died for this. I mean, let's count how many different ways people died. Murder, antimatter explosion, suicide. I've died. So has Fire. So have you. So why would you do all this? What does it matter that Fire and I jumped through time?
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. You were all destined to die. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
I already know all that. No, technically no, because they don't, when they're jumping around, they can't jump into the same time in the same line. Again, I think. They can't change things they've done in an individual line. It would branch off to make another line. And every time they jump, if I'm thinking right, their time in the other timeline is them swapping their brains, their memories or something around. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. What I'm asking you is why? What is this goddamn important that? What is so goddamn important that it's worth all this?
I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
What? Just when is eventually?
In a future not very far from now.
That's not good enough. Why can't you tell us now? Instead of answering, Akane knelt down next to Dio and picked his knife up off the floor. It's a bit like that, isn't it, Gami?
I'm going to keep this with me.
Don't change the subject.
But it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time.
No. In a few moments, you'll return to the original timeline.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that part. It kind of does tie the game into the other game even more than just the same type of game for a similar reason, and with Clover being in both, and Alice appearing at the end of the last game, and ties in that how much time has actually passed between the two games. But yeah, I don't see why they needed the connection to Tenyuji here. They could have done this without that. Yeah, I don't know. What?
This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it. Lagomorph.
Lagomorph?
Yes.
What?